As the Israel-Gaza war becomes a geopolitical debate around the world, what's often forgotten at the heart of this news headline is the individual tragedy in so many homes. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. Our relentless focus on this big global story continues, and today we look at one such individual horrible, horrible tragedy. A young man who went out for a music festival, the Supernova Music Festival, that turned into a major, major massacre site. When we were on the ground in Israel, we did report from the site of that massacre. And today we'll be speaking to the father of Dror Bahat, a father who is somehow managing to keep his calm and his composure in the midst of such grave loss. Dror was one of the designers at the Supernova music site, and there are heartbreaking images of him and his dog not able to get over the loss, going to Dror's grave almost every other day. Let's go across now to Dror's father. I want to say thank you to Mr. Bahat for joining us. Mr. Idan Bahat is joining us. And thank you. And first, my deepest condolences for your loss, my gratitude that even in this moment of heartbreak, you have agreed to speak with us. I spent a reasonable number of days reporting from the front lines of this conflict. I was able to see firsthand what the Hamas had inflicted. Your son was murdered by the Hamas. How old was Dror, Mr. Bahat?
Dror was 30 years old, celebrated in the summer a couple of months ago. As you said, Dror was, he and his partner, they were fixing and build all the decoration for this Nova festival that you can see in the picture right now.
Yes.
He initiated the business looking for this Nova festival as an exit, as an opportunity to go with the big festivals, and he was so excited to go there. This, as you said, this is a festival for peace and love, and who can imagine that such disaster can happen in this kind of festival for peace and love?
It is really gruesome, and I can only imagine what you are going through. How are you getting from day to day? How are you and your family keeping your strength?
Well, this is very hard, as you can imagine. You know, he was just 30 years old, but only started his life. He's a young man, has all this future in front of him. He was a wonderful son. He is my eldest son, our eldest son, me and my wife Ella. Dror has three more brother and sisters, and he likes to live. He has a very, very big plans for the future, and in such a horrible way with this Hamas, ISIS, Nazis, monsters that came into this festival and just murdered him and his friends while they are just trying to to make to enjoy and to make love and peace. This is horrible. What can I say? We are to your question. Yes, we are struggling to continue our lives. This is only 3.5 weeks after. As I said before, this day, or actually 2 days after this festival, when I was able to find him in a base, in an IDF, Israeli Defense Force base, where they were collecting all the bodies from this festival and all these disasters that happened close to the Gaza border, and I was able to identify and to find out that my son is unfortunately murdered there, and this was the first day of the rest of our lives. I don't know how we will continue. I just know that Dror would want us to continue. He would want us to continue to live and to enjoy. And we have three. He has three more brothers. We have three more children, and we will live for them for sure. But definitely, this is a horrible disaster. Who can imagine such a thing? in this peaceful place for Love and Peace Festival.
Yes, and I have absolutely no words to offer you as solace. But I want to ask you, when I was reporting in Israel, the forensics laboratory that was going through some of the remains told us that it had been very difficult to identify some of the bodies. Some bodies were found to wear signs of torture. Other bodies, according to officials, wore signs of rape. They were dismembered bodies. Did you, and I'm sorry to ask you this very difficult question, but going to the horror of what the Hamas inflicted, was it difficult for you to identify your son's body?
Well, no, because fortunately, Dror has a very big tattoo. Dror was a, you know, he enjoy love festivals. He enjoyed to go on trip all around the world, and especially, by the way, India. He really likes India. And a couple of minutes ago, you even yes, yeah. This is by the way from Thailand, but you have some pictures that I sent you from India. Last
Is
last
that
February,
are these from India?
from Eilat in Israel, and this is when he was a child. But if you want me, yes, this is for India. This is from India. These are pictures from India. You these also he and the friends, they really like India. These are pictures. Some of them are really from the late past. On last February, he was visiting India again for his I think third times, and
Wow.
he was traveling India. He said some time ago that India is like his second homeland. He really liked the people there. He liked the views. He liked to enjoy there. But he also make very nice trips in India, in Pushkar, and in Delhi, and in Agra, and also in the north, in Kulu and Manali, and many places. I also, by the way, know India and really like it. I enjoy visiting there.
That's lovely. I know I know Indians will be heartbroken in a way, therefore, especially with the India connection, to hear what happened with Dror.
But
He
I
called India his
will
second. Yeah, go ahead.
just sorry, just to your question, I didn't forget. You asked how difficult was it to identify him. So I would say to think about it. First of all, he has some it was easy to recognize him by tattoos and things he has on his body. I
Mhm.
want to tell also that I really hope. I decided not to look on his face. We decided because you know, he was collected with his friends 2 days only. By the way, 2 days after he was murdered by this Hamas terrorist. But even in 2 days, you don't know what happened to the body. And very good friends of us warmly suggested that not to look and to remember him, such a nice young boy, as you can see in the picture. But we
Yes.
definitely recognize him. And I want to say only that I really hope he didn't suffer much. I hope that his murder was quick. I hope that they didn't do things to the body, or maybe even torture him before, because I know they did it. This monster did it to others. I really hope it was fast for him. And 2 days after we found him in this base, in IDF base, where they collected the bodies, we buried him, and we started the rest of our lives from that horrible day.
My heart goes out to you. And for a parent to say, I hope my son's murder was quick and painless, are words that no parent should ever have to speak, Mr. Bahat. Uh, Tell us about, and let's try and remember him, as you said, as this smiling, young, happy man. He had a pet dog, and the dog, of course, is devastated. And I want to bring up images of this dog, because ever since Dror has died, you are, of course, suffering. His beloved dog, who is repeatedly making lonely trips to Dror's grave.
Yes, definitely. Dror really like also pets and animal and dogs especially. He has also a cat, but this dog Raider was he was so close to him. Really love him so much, and the dog, he of course couldn't understand. He cannot understand what is happening, but he is searching for him. Dror went to this festival before going to the festival. On the festival this horrible Saturday, was the 7th of October, 2 days before, on 5th of October, Thursday, he came to our home, left the dog. He went, fortunately, without the dog to this festival area. He left the dog, gave a big hug to his mother, Ella, and the dog is still waiting for him because he never came back. He said, I will come back, and collected him 2 or 3 days after, when we finished this festival, and he never came back. Now the dog is going every day to this to Dror's grave with his mother, myself, and also his two sisters that you saw in the
Yeah.
picture. This was Dror's grave, and it looks like, we cannot talk with him, but he's sad, and definitely Raider is sad, and it looks like he's looking for his Dror. Dror collected him from a shelter 6 years ago, and took care of him and loved him so much. By the way, you saw some pictures. I will tell you. You saw with snow. 2 weeks before, on September 22nd, we came back from Nepal, which is really close to India, from the Himalaya.
Yes.
This is a picture from Nepal. This is his youngest sister, Gil, and this is Dror and myself, his father, Idan. And we went for a 2 weeks trek over there in the Himalaya, in the Langtan trip and the frozen lakes. It was great, and Dror was so
Yeah.
great. Also,
Yeah.
I was so much enjoyed, and who can tell that this will be like a farewell, or a way
Yeah.
to that I will see him for the last time, or close to it.
I'm so sorry. It's difficult to even hear. I can only imagine what you're feeling. Let me ask you, what do you think? We must remember your son was brutally murdered. There are others who are alive, but in the captivity of Hamas. And when I was in Israel, many of the families of the hostages, they were on the roads. In fact, Noah was another young woman who's been taken hostage from the same supernova festival that your son helped to design, and we all saw this horrible video. There are other families as well. In the meantime, Israel's war on Gaza has entered a very critical stage. There's a lot of debate. Israel has also come in for criticism from parts of the world, saying what Hamas did was terrible, but you can't punish civilians in Gaza for it. As a father who's just lost your son, how do you see that? What do you expect your country at this point to do? What do you think should happen?
I will say a couple of things. First of all, Dror believe in peace, and myself also. We believed in peace. Where there are many people in Israel who believe, who were believing in peace with the Palestinians, and they want to make things calm, and maybe to solve the conflict. But after these horrible things that happened in this Black Saturday on the 7th of October, I don't know how many, if any, are believing anymore. Yes, it was so horrible this way. It's not only that they killed. It's not a war that they are fighting against army like we are there. I will speak about it in a minute. Yes, we are there. The Israeli army is there, but they were killing. These terrorists, these monsters. They not only murder, they slaughters, they were butchering the people, the civilians over there, maybe even beheading them, they burning them. They think they did it for the civilians, for citizens, not for army or for soldiers. Now, as people who believed in such a thing, as I said, I don't know what will happen right now, but we know that we should defend ourselves. And this is what the IDF, Israel Defense Force, they are defending. But yes, they are attacking right now the Hamas. Before, don't forget, Israel was asking and gave enough time for people to go to the south in order to leave this place of Gaza for us, for the Israel Defense Army, just to open a space that they could not, this Hamas terrorists will not be able to do it again, because we need to find a way to live over there. But how can we do that when they are just going through this weak border and start killing and burning and raping and beheading people. We cannot afford it. So this is what the Israel Defense Force is doing right now, trying
Mm-hmm.
to bring us back to lives. And yes, you ask about hostages. You know, I will tell you something. For 2 days, I was searching for my sons. I ran in hospital, and I was trying to find him. I hoped my hope was that he was injured and he cannot contact, but I will find him. And when I couldn't, and when I went to this IDF base Shura, where they're collecting the bodies, and eventually I found him there. I want to tell you that within these 2 days, some of my hopes were that he was kidnapped, but that somehow you prefer as a parent that he kidnapped and somehow will get him back. There are
Mm-hmm.
more than 240 people who were kidnapped over there. They are like you said, like hostages by these monsters, and I don't know how many of them, if any, will ever come back, and in what situation. I don't know what they are doing that to them. So what you will hear from me right now is very, very tough. But I'm telling you, as a father, I prefer that my son died, that he was murdered, and not to leave him there with these monsters. As a father, I'm telling you this. As I said, I hope he didn't suffer much. I buried him. I will try to continue my life, but I don't want to leave him. I don't want to even think what can happen to him if he would there as a hostage in this with this Hamas monster.
You're saying as the father, you prefer that your son died or was killed than be taken hostage.
Looks like, I will always want him to come back, but looking how much time passed, no one there know what, no one here know what happened to these hostages. Where are they, in what situation, how they are keeping them? They are children, they are old men over there that need the medicine to treat themselves. In what condition they will come back, if ever they will come back. So I know it's very difficult, and I don't know, maybe tomorrow you will ask me same question. I will say I prefer
Yeah.
that he come back, of course, but right now at least I know that I have him beside me. We buried him. We can
Yeah. There's
um,
some sort of, you at least know you don't have to spend every day thinking about how the Hamas
yes,
is treating him. I
exactly.
want to ask you, many of the families I met in Tel Aviv who were protesting, these were some of the posters that they put
Yeah.
up of their loved ones. They were very angry with the Israeli prime minister, and they said Netanyahu has brought us to this pass, he must resign. Some of them even wanted a ceasefire because they feel, of course, that the hostages' lives might be in danger if this bombing continues. What do you think of the sections of the world too that are calling for a ceasefire, or what they're calling a humanitarian pause? What is the way forward? And I know it's a difficult question to process as a man who's just lost your young son, but nevertheless, I ask you because I think the families who have suffered directly probably have a much more real understanding of what might happen next and what should happen next.
I would say this. I don't want to come so much into politics, in the political situation here in Israel, but I would say this. Now, this is a wartime in Israel. Hopefully, it will end soon, and we will come into and we will solve the problem. Our problem right now that we are not feeling safe. But so I would say that for now, when we are in war, I don't think that the prime minister should resign. I don't think that the army leaders should resign. They need to continue. They need to lead us to a victory. But what, if you are asking me, what is really disturbed me is that our prime minister didn't actually take responsibility. The head of the
Hmm.
army took. The minister of security or took. The other minister took responsibility. Army leaders took responsibility. The prime minister of Israel never took responsibility, and he is responsible. We will wait for the day after this war. Right now, he should lead. I don't want us to get weak more, because we are weak right now. Israel
Yep.
is not so strong because of this attack. But we are developing force, and definitely we will solve this problem with this Hamas terrorist, and hopefully with not so much losses in our side as well as in the other side. I can tell you, we gave the opportunity, Israel gave the opportunity to these civilians, people in Gaza, to go from there, and hopefully they will not suffer much. Yes, this is my hope as well. Not all of them are murderers. Not all of them in the other side of the border. I hope not all of them want us to be killed, like many people in Israel don't want them to be all of them to be killed. No, but we need to end this, and after that, yes, I expect him, the Prime Minister, to take responsibility. Definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Bahat, for talking to us at a time of loss and for sharing the India connection that your son enjoyed. We will miss him here too. We will give prayers for your family to be able to move on in some way from this horrific act of terror. Thank you so much, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just again, like Dror was expecting, I'm sure he is expecting us to continue. And I'm blessing all the other families with people who their sons were kidnapped or murdered, to have some peace in their minds and to overcome this. And hopefully we will end it soon with a way that we can continue our lives. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.